Greetings, everyone. I am F. Keith Slaughter, Senior Servant of the Beloved Community Church of Atlanta. Our ministry began 5 years ago with a few dedicated souls who were dedicated to serving our people and worshiping our God. We are a small church. However, since we began, we have slowly grown from a mere idea into a thriving, busy, and dynamic presence in the Pittsburgh community of Atlanta, Georgia. The coronavirus pandemic indelibly altered the work of our ministry. The food and resources gap between the poor and others has widened right before our eyes. As the world around us changed, we recognized the need to expand our already established food pantry to include a food sharing component for children and adults in our community. We now serve hot meals, sandwiches, snacks, and beverages 3 days a week and provide emergency food pantry access throughout the week. The times required that we expand our capacity to serve, but we had inadequate facilities needed to do the work. To that end, we recently acquired a historic Pittsburgh landmark formerly known as Little Zion Baptist Church. Our plan is to transition our food pantry and resource brokerage center, including a new day shelter component, into the Little Zion Annex of the Beloved Community Church. We need room to grow, and I need your help to make it happen. The food pantry will give community members and their families access to nutritious food in a clean and healthy environment. The Resource Brokerage Center will connect persons to information and benefits available to them, while the day shelter will create space for showers and personal care, cell phone recharging stations, and other help for our unsheltered sisters and brothers. So here's the ask. I'm asking you to be mindful and prayerful around your possible role in helping us to take care of some good people who need to feel the experience of human love, care, and compassion in the midst of their struggle. After considering the possibilities, I ask that you would share your best gift with us to help us renovate the building, put on a new roof, replace the damaged flooring, and rebuild the handicap ramp to make it a bright, healthy, secure space for healing and restoration to occur. I believe that this is good ground. Won't you help us by investing in making Dr. King's vision of the beloved community a blessed reality? You can help us by cash apping us at $the beloved community. You may also go to my website, drfkeithslaughter.org, and make a PayPal donation. But however you give, make sure you give to this good and worthy cause.
Y'all know what it is.
I can't sit at the seat of the scornful. Run away, run away, run away. Those wolves in sheep clothing.
Come on.
Run away. Take back what you stole from me. Compensate. They keep lying, man, and I can't relate. Run away, run away, run away.
This Slaughter D call me Trap Pastor. I talk slow, but you know I rap faster.
That right.
Hard rhymes, I'm as serious as cancer. Recognize you ain't a slave, you a master. Came here on the bottom of the boat.
That right.
Can't flow, so I had to backstroke. Coming up on the verses that I rode. Every day I slang hope, not dope. Makes nightmare Martin Luther's dream. Fight the power, can you feel what I mean? Like Rock Kim said, I'm a microphone pain. Came south on a special invitation to say a word on the current situation. No delay, no more hesitation. All you fist up and take your reparations, sucker.
Y'all know what it is.
I can't sit at the seat of the scornful. Run away, run away, run away. Those wolves in sheep clothing. Come on, run away. Take back what you stole from me. Compensate. They keep lying, man, and I can't relate. Run away, run away, run away.
Yeah, so you think you can run away from reality? You think you can run away from the problems? You think you can find yourself someplace else to go where there's no God? Hey man, wherever you go, God is already there waiting on you. So stop running. And if you gotta run, tie your shoes, sucker.
What up? Turn me up, Craig. Turn me up. Turn me up, Miggity. Turn me up, Miggity. Yeah, turn me up, baby. Yeah. What up, what up? Turn me up. Let me hear me. I can't hear me. For real though, I can't hear me though. For real though, I remember one time I had this girlfriend, and she said, "No, I can't even tell y'all." Good morning. Welcome to another. I tell y'all when we out there, y'all gonna laugh. Y'all gonna fall out. You ain't gonna be able to stand up in that, sit up on that stool, Scott. What I tell y'all this. Anyway, good morning and welcome to another edition of the Movement Raw and Uncut. I am your brother Slaughter up in here getting it exactly like I'm supposed to do. This is an intentionally Afrocentric live streaming infotainment variety talk experience, and we come to you every day Monday through Thursday from around 11ish to 1ish, and so I'm glad that you're here. We do it like we do it because we can and we must traffic in truth telling. It don't make no difference who don't like it. We gonna break you out something proper dopper each and every day. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things that I'm aware of is that I am old. But trust me, y'all, it takes some aging and some time to develop the wisdom, the fortitude, the character, the courage to be able to speak truth to power. So we attempt to do that each and every day, Monday through Thursday, on this thing called the Movement Raw and Uncut. And of course, we look forward to bringing new content, new platforms, new varieties and modalities of engagement with us in this space. So you stay tuned. Also, you can check us out on Facebook Live, I think, on IGTV, I think, on Twitch, I think, and on YouTube. We should be broadcasting live right this very moment. And you can archive or see the archive shows, rather, on YouTube. And I encourage you to like them, to subscribe to the Movement Raw and Uncut channel. You know, it is what it is, and we make it do what it do. So today, I want to engage you from, during the time for my monologue, from this particular text by Dr. Wade Nobles. It's a classic text in the area of black psychology, African psychology. And the title of the book is African Psychology: Towards Its Reclamation, Reascension, and Revitalization. Again, the author is black psychologist Wade Nobles. From page 19 going forward, I want to read a particular piece that might be helpful for persons who are attempting to make sense out of the reality that they are experiencing and attempting to be able to discern what is real and what is unreal within their experience. I begin reading. It says, a more complete understanding of the treatment of things African can better be explained as scientific colonialism. Scientific colonialism is a process wherein the political control of knowledge is carried out by a sophisticated process of falsifying the production of information and ideas. The process of scientific colonialism has three distinct features. The first is unsophisticated falsification, wherein facts, information, and ideas are simply destroyed and or falsified. The second feature, integrated modificationism, is where original facts, information, and ideas are distorted, suppressed, or modified in order to fabricate new facts and ideas. The third feature of scientific colonialism is conceptual incarceration. In this case, the knower is given a set of predetermined concepts and definitions to utilize in the process of knowing. The alien or incorrect concepts themselves, however, inhibit the process of knowing, and the knower becomes a prisoner of these alien ideas. The notion of conceptual incarceration allows us to understand the delimiting quality of faulty or erroneous concepts provided in the process of scientific understanding. Under the process of scientific colonialism, knowing is rigidly controlled by the methodology or mechanisms of destruction, distortion, fabrication, suppression, and of course, confusion. Sisters and brothers, may I suggest to you that we have been and we continue to be living in a context that is defined by scientific colonialism. There is a way in which our minds, our psyches, are under constant assault. And the more truth that is exposed, the more lies are deployed in order to counterbalance the positive effects that the truth might have on the hearer. Therefore, if someone shares truth, let's just say, for instance, in a medium other than mainstream news like NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, if the information does not come from those sources, then what we are led to believe is that the source is a source of error, as opposed to being able to rightly discern that those sources that are official government ordained sources are actually the ones who are transmitting error. And so what happens is we become confused and we don't know who to listen to because we're not clear about who is telling the truth. And so as you engage this world, this life, this season, this new epoch of history, known as the coronavirus era. Be clear that scientific colonialism has been deployed and it impacts the way that you are experiencing your life presently. As I reflect on the principles of Ma'at, what we are cautioned to do within that religious or spiritual context is to know the difference between what is real and what is unreal. Scientific colonialism makes that exponentially more difficult than it already is. But just know, sisters and brothers, you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Unsophisticated falsification is just a straight up lie. Conceptual incarceration is taking lies and taking truth and twisting it and injecting it with a little truth, but actually it's still a lie. And the third, that idea of conceptual incarceration is when you're given a false choice between what is true and what is not. And allow me to give you just a brief example of the false choice or the false truths that we have to wrestle with currently. And it speaks to the COVID-19 vaccine. What we are forced to believe or given to believe is that either one has received the vaccine or the person has COVID-19. And nothing could be further from the truth. People who observe the protocols associated with COVID-19, such as social distancing, such as masking, such as frequent hand washing, as we were told at the outset, experience some level of protection. And everyone who does not have the vaccine, who has not taken the vaccine, does not have COVID-19. Meanwhile, we're told that if you have the vaccine, you will not get or you are protected from COVID-19. And the reality is that people who are vaccinated almost routinely contract the disease. That's what's known as conceptual incarceration. To be presented two sides of a story, and both sides of them have error injected within them. So, sisters and brothers, ladies and gentlemen, babies and children, do your best to take care of yourself, to protect yourself. Not only from COVID-19, not only from rabid police, not only from systems of destruction, but also from the lies that are foundational for them all. And you want to know what the deal is. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna try to figure it out. So you want to know what's going on in the world? Let me tell you what it is that I've learned. since the last time I spoke with you. We're a little bit too hot, Craig. Let's see. Sometimes, man, I just be forgetting where to find stuff. All right, you want to know what's going on in the world? In the world today, news from, there it is, news from South Africa. Pranesha Naidu of Bloomberg gets the byline. The headline is South Africa's unemployment rate is now the highest in the world. Among the global list of 82 countries monitored by Bloomberg, South Africa's unemployment rate as of yesterday had surged to the highest on the planet. The jobless rate rose to 34.4% in the second quarter from 32.6% in the 3 months through March. Statistics from South Africa said on Tuesday in a report released in the capital Pretoria. Unemployment, according to the expanded definition, which includes people who are available for work but not looking for a job, rose to 44.4% from 43.2%, which is a rate that is the highest of countries that are tracked. The unemployment data is likely to deteriorate in the third quarter because the government tightened COVID-19 curbs in the face of a third wave of infections, hindering efforts to revive an economy that has shrunk by 7% within the last year. Well, that is what that is, but of course we are more than aware of the situation in South Africa as relates to the continued colonization and domination of the people. The government is merely a shadow puppet government for the Dutch, who have run South Africa since they colonized it near the turn of the previous century. Apartheid actually does still basically exist, even though the people operate under a semblance of freedom. They are in a soft cage. And so it would make sense to me that South Africa would have the largest level of unemployment, because South Africa probably has among the highest level of people who are suffering with some type of post-traumatic illness, some type of mental health deterioration of some sort, based upon the harshness of their everyday experience under the hand of colonialism and apartheid. So in Zambia, there is a new president. Hakainde Hichilema took the reins of Zambia to cheers on yesterday, promising to turn around the economy of this southern African country that has been plagued by colossal debt, and he promises to guarantee real freedom to all of his fellow citizens. He has been a perennial opponent in Zambia, meaning he's run, I think, 4 or 5 times, and he finally defeated the last president, Lugo, was his name, Lugu. And so several heads of state, regional opposition figures, everybody came to greet. And what they experienced was a smooth political transition on a continent where, let's just be honest, there are many strawman dictators that are set up by European governments to do the bidding of Europe and the US. And so it's rare to have a peaceful transition of power But they've been able to pull it off in Zambia. And so one of the major promises that HH, that's what they call him HH. His name is Hakainde Hichilema. And what he is promising people, the top of his platform, is 3 good meals a day. Shit, that's a good place to start, I guess. Yeah. Finally, in world news, on the African continent, Ethiopia starts building its own local rival to Facebook. It's according to Reuters. Ethiopia is developing its own social media platform to rival Facebook, to rival Twitter, to rival WhatsApp. For the past year, Ethiopia has been engulfed in an armed conflict in the Tigray region, which I have reported to you on quite frequently. Well, Facebook has placed different kinds of strictures, as well as Twitter and WhatsApp, on what can be broadcasted, and so supporters of both sides have waged a parallel war of words on social media, and the government wants this local platform to replace Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and Zoom. And so that's the work that's going on in Ethiopia. And let me say to you quite candidly, sisters and brothers, that's the work that black people need to be doing in this country. There are more than enough black people to support our own social media platforms. It makes no difference. It makes no sense for us to be sharing the benefits, monetary and creatively and otherwise, with those who would act as enemies toward us. It makes no sense for us to share out of our resources when we have the know-how, the creativity, the ingenuity, as well as the financial power to start our own social media outlets. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense, in my view, to be celebrating Oprah Winfrey and celebrating Jay-Z and the rest of and Michael Jordan and the rest of these so-called black billionaires when they're not using their resources to meet the needs that our people most desperately need. We need to consume information that has been created and vetted by black people and people who love black people. Period. I said that while I'm talking to you on the damn YouTube, Facebook, and the IG and the Twitch now. But there's a change on the horizon. So you check me out the 1st of September and see what you see. Big head. Also, this is international, but of course to us it has a national feel. Earthquake in Haiti has revived anger over the aid response to the country's 2010 disaster. But Haitian residents are now leading their own recovery efforts. What this story is about, and Char Adams of NBC Black gets the byline. The headline is how Haitian organizations are leading their own relief efforts. Do y'all remember in 2010 the disaster that befell the Haitian people? It was an earthquake, I think. And y'all remember how devastated the island was, and one notable Haitian brother by the name of Wyclef Jean, multimillionaire, leader of the hip-hop group called the Fugees, how he led this major fundraising effort and raised millions of dollars, collected millions of dollars in physical resources as well that was supposed to be distributed to the suffering people in Haiti. And do y'all remember what happened? Well, what happened was Wyclef was accused, or his organization was accused of stealing the lion's share of that money. We need to understand that whenever we donate to organizations, you need to check and see how much their, quote, administrative fee is. Generally, it's over half of what is being donated. Half of what is donated is, or more in many cases, is set aside for administrative fees. And then there's other just outright stealing, and everything comes through the port at Port-au-Prince. And who's ever at the port, who's running the port, they get to steal first anyway. And so, in light of that, Haitian organizations are now leading their own relief efforts as they struggle to recover from a 7.2 magnitude earthquake, as well as a tropical storm that had winds that were at tropical storm level. So, yeah, that's what's going on in Haiti. A little closer to home. Do y'all remember that story that came out a couple of months ago about this young brother, this young black man, who was walking through the neighborhood in which he lived, and he was accosted by this big old white dude, this big old muscle-bound white dude. The young man weighed about 100 pounds. The white dude was 200 plus. He was a drill sergeant, an Army drill sergeant. And he rolled up on the young black man who was just walking down the street and began to scream at him, yell at him, push him, intimidate him. And of course, perhaps you also recall the response of the black community, and this is around Columbia, I think South Carolina. You also remember the response. Brothers and sisters came out by the hundreds and stood on his sidewalk. His wife ended up being removed from her job, and now that Fort Jackson Army sergeant by the name of Jonathan Pentland, who bullied this young black man, has been found guilty of third-degree assault, which is a misdemeanor. And he got a choice between serving 30 days in jail or paying $1,000. So you can imagine how that's going to work out. But at least he received justice. Because when you roll on somebody like that, you're supposed to get rolled back on. Not only did the community bring him justice, but the injustice system brought him justice as well. So, good luck. Hopefully you can't come up with $1,000 and you had to do them 30 days. And they put you in there with Bebe now. with Jamal would be your cellmate. So here's a report, and this is from The Root. Jay Connor gets the byline. 3-time Pro Bowler and Atlanta's own worst dressed man in the NFL, Cam Newton, he's coming under fire, and the New England Patriots, which I don't know how in the hell he could play for the Patriots, you know what I mean? But anyway, he played for the Patriots. And they are frustrated with him because of his reluctance to get the vaccine. So he said, when asked to discuss it, that the Conversation is too personal to discuss publicly, so he will neither confirm nor deny his status. However, he has been receiving tests as mandated, and even though his tests have come back negative, all of them, there is what is being termed as a misunderstanding that will force Cam Newton to stay away from the team for at least a week. And they are attempting to force him to take the league mandated tests before he's allowed to re-enter the team facilities. And he has to submit negative tests for 5 straight days. So that is what that is. If you want to play for them people, you got to follow their rules. I generally don't look at NFL anymore, but hell, I'm almost breaking down because, shit, I need something to look at. And I'm tired of looking at myself. At any rate, good luck to Cam Newton and bad luck to the Patriots and the Cowboys. The Patriots and the Cowboys, both of them, because they just, I don't know, they remind me of white supremacy. I don't know. I don't like neither one of them. I don't like the Patriots coach. I don't like the Cowboys owner. I just don't like them because they feel like racists to me. And speaking of racist, closer to home, Herschel Walker, a black racist against black people, has filed to run for U.S. Senate in 2022. Yeah. Fox News 5 is reporting that Herschel Walker officially filed to run for Georgia U.S. Senate seat, the one that is held currently by Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock. There are several Republicans who are vying for that position, and that's the one that Kelly Loeffler, who's another just virulent racist, was given after another virulent racist, Johnny Isaacson, got too sick to promote his racist agenda in the Senate. And so Walker tweeted a video with Georgia on his mind playing in the background, saying he getting ready to run. He can run with the big dogs. Okay. So y'all look forward to that. The fake governor, the lying fake Governor Kemp. Man, this is a story that when I pay attention to what Wade Nobles wrote, it makes sense. If I don't filter it through my understanding of scientific colonialism, then this story makes no sense. So Kemp is deploying Georgia National Guard members to hospitals. Now, this is the same dude that is against a mask mandate, but he's for deploying National Guard to the hospitals. In total, 105 members of the Georgia National Guard will deploy to 20 different hospitals around the state. Kemp said that these guardsmen will assist our frontline healthcare workers as they provide quality medical care during the current increase in cases and hospitalization. This is crazy. I'm at a loss. I don't understand. He continues, and I greatly appreciate General Cardin and his team for their willingness to answer the call again in our fight against COVID-19. How is it that you say that you are fighting against COVID-19 when you're for the opening of all businesses, when you're for the opening of all schools, and you're against mandated mask wearing. What the hell is 105 National Guard gonna do that a fucking mask won't? It's unbelievable. I don't know how do these idiots, how do these assholes, how do they get this kind of, man, how do they get this power, and how they're allowed to wield power in such an injudicious and foolish way? It's appalling. And of course, perhaps you're able to tell that I feel strongly about this. And speaking of COVID-19, 2 Fulton County schools, according to Rebecca Scram, who gets the byline for the story, CBS 46 reports that 2 schools, one on the north side, one on the south side, have had to send entire grade levels home because of COVID-19. Administrators at 2 Fulton County schools, one on the north side, one on the south side, are requiring entire grade levels to remain home for virtual learning until at least the end of August, at least. Lake Windward Elementary in Alpharetta, and our own Camp Creek Middle School. 8th graders got to go home and learn from home because too many of them have tested positive for COVID-19. All right, that's the deal. And now you know what the deal is. When we return, I got special guests in the studio, and we're gonna be chopping it up like we do. And you know how we get down round through here. And so I got powerful guests standing by on deck, and we're gonna get into conversations about reparations, conversations about truth, conversations about liberation. I'm your brother. You can get at me live on Facebook Live. You can get at me on IGTV, I think. You might be able to get at me on Twitch. You can definitely get me on YouTube. And coming soon, there will be several other outlets that you'll be able to enjoy this show on. This is the dopest show on the internet. Don't get it twisted. You might not know about it yet, but it's getting ready to come into your world and turn your world upside down. What is it? That is one place in the Bible that says these people were turning the world upside down with the truth. It's called the gospel. You know what I'm saying? I'll be black in a minute, man, with more of this show called The Movement. It's raw, it's uncut, it's live, and you know what? We're open.
We're open.
Yes, we're open.
We are open, and Sandtown Pub is ready to serve you. We're taking precautions, wearing masks, wearing gloves, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. We've even partnered with local leaders to hand out free masks. So stop by and enjoy our outdoor patio, dine in, call ahead for pickup, get Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery, or order online at www.sandtownpub.com.
Peace, family. It's your girl, Shealey. I'm in set with Sun Goddess Scents, your one-stop natural shop. We are located at 4140 Jonesboro Road, booth 225, inside the Forest Park International Discount Mall in Forest Park, Georgia. Come check us out. You can get your health and beauty items, aromatherapy, skincare, Pan-African apparel, and more. You can reach us at 404-434-7963 or sungoddess_scents on IG, or sungoddess.scents on IG, or Sun Goddess Scents like page on Facebook. Peace.
Shifted. The truest you ever heard, I need not mention. Check what's written, underground missing. Flow of the lost and found, intuition, labels limping. Pimping, we hip, we hot, masses listen. Lyrical intermission from bland renditions. This my MC, got them standing in attention. I rhyme my mind and speak my soul on the basis of need to know. It's Sharice Nicole, spread the word so the streets will know. Turn it up until your speaker blows. So I rhyme my mind and speak my soul on the basis of need to know. It's Sharice Nicole, spread the word so the streets will know. Turn it up until your speaker blows. It's Sharice Nicole.
Great big expression of
Welcome to Star Season, to the track.
Boy, you couldn't miss such what astound.
Yo, they looking and they pointing like she's so pretty. Venture deep inside, see experience as gritty as they're with me. Well, I don't care if you not. Don't be smiling in my face, trying to chill on my block. You're the realest ones, recognize the real ones for sure. Come on, about to broadcast live on the radio, video, whatever, in the studio, record shows. Life is a stage and organize and get the dough. Sharice Nicole about what's making sense. If your natural talent and getting paid, you better go within and meditate on that one. Nation, Jamaican or Haitian, and take one drop of my relations. They hating. We creating while they manage our creation. Waiting for a woman's revelation in the making. Like Mama Earth when she cleansing and quaking. Wiped out of the eye and awaken. I rhyme my mind and speak my soul on the basis of need to know. It's Sharice Nicole. Spread the word so the streets will know. Turn it up until your speaker blows. So I rhyme my mind and speak my soul on the basis of need to know. It's Sharice Nicole. Spread the word so the streets will know. Turn it up until your speaker blows.
Great big expression of happiness. Boy, you couldn't miss such what astound.
It's Sharice Nicole, the right to right. Big Reef on the beat. Big Reef in them streets. Reese. I see you. Yeah. This how we doing the ATL like this. I keep thinking about last night. Time passed right by me when I'm with you. Kinda like having my own universe, my world, my earth. I try to keep my focus, but you poppin' mine first. I thirst to get to know what makes you tick, and I nurse the vibrations when they ache and sick. Like a sister turned on by your ways, your wits, and it be tripping me out. Cause few can get with this, what you do. And I don't know if I can get enough. Yeah, you do. And I see through all of that gangsta stuff. See, I like the edges rough when the mind is wrong. You got me right in the zone. This feeling can't be wrong. Come on. Isn't it so cold? But you can't stop my love. It hurts so bad. You can't stop my love. Loving so hard. You can't stop my love. You can't stop my love. Say you can't stop my love. I'm having problems at home. In fact, it's over. Let me cry on your shoulder. Can you hold a hurt woman close and I'm soldier? Let me get the microphone, yeah. Get too close, I might put it on ya. Show ya what a real woman about. Being me is complex. I see you peeping the style. You want a little girl, I got her in me too. Whatever it takes to get close to you. Ain't no picture in my front, and I'ma tell you now. I need attention right now just to hold me down. I got a lot on my mind. I got a lot to get out. And you say the right thing when you open your mouth. But when I'm with you, I feel it so relaxed. When I'm with you, I feel like the queen I am. When I'm with you, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I maximize the moment, use the time I have. Come on. Isn't it so cold? But you can't stop my love. It hurts so bad. You can't stop my love. Loving so hard. You can't stop my love. You can't stop my love. Say you can't stop my love. I've been through so much stress, so much pain, must confess. So much on my chest, been through so much mess. Then I met him, the warrior, the guy. Say I'm blessing the hill, and then I'm feeling put my soul to rest. I be the one helping ones, now I need you. You see the pure me, I see the pure you. We met and no one expected to get this sight. I recall the very moment that I knew. On time, damn, you fine. Look in my eyes and my vibes recline. Got seeds, here's a picture of mine. Chemistry right, you read my mind. Some truth inside you held me fine. This spiritual, mental, mutual attraction cultivates electric magnetic reaction. Giving and receiving chakra satisfaction. Giving thanks and praying this one's a lasting. Isn't it so cold? But you can't stop my love. So bad, you can't stop my love. Loving so hard, you can't stop my love. You can't stop my love. Say you can't stop my love.
Too much pain, I learned how to dance in the rain. Ooh, I got so much power. Big goddess in the cheek, what you wanna do? Name about yourself. I don't care how you feel about the situation. You can stop hating, but you can stop my love.
You don't understand The pandemic is the plan to get the heart of man. Give me the hue and the human in this not a tan. Melanin, mother of the civil lands. Hieroglyphics encrypted in stolen sand. Don't tell me about no Dr. Ben. Yo, hocking in. Astroplaning with every page and back again. With my head up, with my hands high. The truth exists in a whirlwind. That's how they lie. By any means necessary. This ain't no movie, baby. The mental parasites is meant to keep the soldiers lazy or keep them booty crazy. And she like, F you pay me. And that's just some of the narrative that they sell to babies. Nothing and everything keep amazing me. We thriving in these times if we ain't in the world's calamity. Dazzle me, put out them stones and work this alchemy. It's time to see what all this knowledge is really supposed to be. You can't harm me, you can't tell my story, and we drip, it's all over me. We got to work the room magically, cause we rock. You can't harm me, you can't tell my story, and we drip, it's all over me. Yeah, I got to work the room magically. Like Dr. Sabi, Mama Wilson, Dr. Amos Wilson, you know who else in. Ancestors will give the blessing. Libation on my heart before we start to bring them back in. Jewel Pookrum, Bobby Hemmett, living legend. So many that I can name, gotta wash it in my baby's brain. Dr. John Henry Clark say his name. After the real history, yo, you never the same. Like the magic on the rock on my pinky ring. Baba Baruti and Mama Ya, keeping the nation on the bill like warriors. Everything been about us, cause we the ones. And then they say it's pagan to acknowledge the God. Then they try to take Egypt of Africa. My yacht just keeping the balance just for the love. Even if you mention it like Nick and Griff, you're wrong. Like Bob say, the karma is one, cause redemption's your song. Cause we rock. You can't harm me, you can't tell my story, and we drip, it's all over me. We got to work the room magically, cause we rock. You can't harm me, you can't tell my story, and we drip, it's all over me. Yeah, I got to work the room magically. Oh. I stand in the light of my ancestors, time before time. Absolute truth reigns supreme, and my nation's narrative is all mine. Feel the power of transcending quantum lines. In the age of Aquarius, I shine. Feel free to fly. And they try to bury us and plant the seaweed more wide. My light make them furious, cause they don't wanna feel the fire. Cause they don't wanna feel the fire. Cause we rock. You can't harm me, you can't tell my story, and we drip, it's all over me. We got to work the room magically, cause we rock. You can't harm me, you can't tell my story, and we drip, it's all over me. Yeah, I got to work the room magically. Oh.
Yeah, fuck everything.
Oh yeah. And here we go.
So here she go. Invincible musical, ingenious glow.
Yeah. What up? We back, we black. Beneath me the sounds of Atlanta's own Sharice Nicole, who gave me permission to bump her sounds. So please don't take my stuff down. Hallelujah. Hey man, my special guest in the studio this morning is a dynamic and vivacious and powerful spirit. She recently ran for U.S. Senate here in Georgia, and she is a tireless reparations advocate. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, please join me in welcoming my dear sister, friend of the movement, Tamara Johnson Shealey. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Your smile's so pretty. Good to see you today. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Make me shake the tambourine.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I'm in the place to be. So how you been doing? What's been going down?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Still fighting the good fight. Staying out here in these political streets.
Yeah. What's so interesting is, I had Richard Rose on the other day, a couple of weeks ago. We get to fighting, because I fight him when you ain't here for you.
I appreciate that.
But I really can't. It's just so funny to see how people find themselves needing to defend Biden and his progressive approach to white supremacy. And just so many of the cautions and the things that you ask us to look out for are just coming to pass. And I just think about you whenever I just think about the situation that we find ourselves in now as a country, and how you warned us about people giving us false promises that they really had no intention of honoring. And so I just want to say, you was right.
And I didn't want to be. You don't want to be right.
Right.
I wanted to be wrong. I wanted to see this administration really rise to the occasion when Black America delivered the way we did.
Right.
We
right.
delivered.
Yeah.
We came out. We showed up. We delivered.
Yeah.
And now, 8 months in, what have we gotten?
Man, we can't, you can't even get any good lip service. Now, let me say, and I forgot to report, I forgot to report this today, the John Lewis bill was approved in the House on yesterday, along with that $3.5 trillion bill that is supposed to be for internal infrastructure or human infrastructure and other things. Whenever I see a number like that, I immediately become concerned about what infinitesimal percentage of that will actually make it to people who need it. Just with the COVID money, they out here arresting and locking up people for fake PPP applications, getting 25, 30 grand, when corporations walked away with billions and billions of dollars, and they arresting people. So I always get kind of miffed when I look at the just how government plays games with us and steals the money, and they act like what they got us believing is it's their money, and they're giving us their money. But actually, at the very least, what it is a reallocation of your own money that gets given back to you. And speaking of money being given back to us,
cut the check. Just cut the check. Just cut the check. We don't want to see another damn social program. I don't want to see another program. Cut the check. Payable to Keith Slaughter, payable to Tamara Johnson Shealey. Cut the check.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't need our monies to be funneled through these organizations and 501s. Cut the check.
Yeah. So the work, since your campaign, the work that you've concentrated on mostly has been reparations work.
Oh, absolutely. I won't stop. I'm not going to stop. This is totally my life's work. I know that I've been called to do this, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop until it happens, or I die.
Yeah, and
there it is.
And that is what we need. You know, I interview, you know, quite a few people, and one of the things that always interests me in folks is their passion. I find that people who are committed and dedicated to causes act out of a deep sense of passion and really a sense of divine calling to resist what's being presented as normal, and people who are able to discern and say, you know what, this ain't normal, this ain't right, but it can be fixed. Let's fix it. And I appreciate that attitude. I appreciate that approach to something as serious as reparations. Tell me how you became interested in the reparations idea in the first place. When did it first occur to you or appear to you, or when were you first exposed to the idea and then began to believe in the real possibility of reparations coming to pass for the descendants of enslaved persons on this land?
So I had to get bit politically first. So I got into politics. So this is, I've run several times, as your audience may know. And politics it was driving me. It was something calling me to be more engaged politically. And as I became more engaged politically, that is when, you know, I started really seeing that the Black community, we're continuously being left out. Like, where is our voice? Where are our answers? Where are our solutions? And I see all these other communities that are benefiting politically with their political power. Where is ours? And I got involved with the ADOS movement. And when I became involved with that movement, that's when I started to see and understand why reparations is urgent. There's an urgency now. And that I can't shake it. It won't go away.
Do you see the movement gaining more traction, or during this Biden era, this Biden-Harris era, are you noticing that the movement is being potentially derailed?
I think it's being ignored. I won't say it's being derailed, because I don't think that it can be. I think this movement is bigger than them. And I think we've made so much, there's so much traction right now. I don't believe it can be derailed. Do I believe that this administration is ignoring it? Yes.
Yeah. You know what? I wonder, and I often wonder this about Black causes. I wonder why we don't just hire like a major PR firm, just like they sell cereal, you know, just like they sell iced tea and liquor and beer to Black people. Why, I wonder, has there not been a campaign to sell liberation to Black people, to sell reparations to Black people? You know, my entirety of my adult life, I have dedicated to one thing: attempting to get Black people to want to be free. That's all I've been working on, and I've been, you know, real intentional. I just want Black folks to want to be free. I don't even, you know, and I'll leave it up to you and others, you know, the next steps after that. But I'm talking about just the psychological movement toward an aspiration for liberation. What I've been thinking and looking at is that it seems like, and when I came to this last week, week before last, I came to this, it looks like many black people are okay with being second class.
Oh, now that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart because
Well, a heartbroken Slaughter is the one that thought of that. That's what we came to.
My heart.
Yeah. I mean, but
I think I see so much fear in us. It's kind of what I go back to thinking is like when we were free from quote unquote from slavery. You're free to go. You're free to go. But I think so many of us don't know where to go and what to do. We don't know how to leave the plantation, and the plantation is really in our minds.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of fear with the unknown. And that's why I'm so encouraged by this reparations movement, because now we have the possibility to be free and take these resources that are owed to us. Reparations is not a gift, it's a debt.
Right.
So this is monies and resources that are owed to us.
You know, and I wish people would do the math like this. All right. They take a certain amount of our income, a certain amount of our resources, and generally it's used against us. You know what I mean? So wouldn't reparations really just be repaying? You know, this ain't even got nothing to do with stealing all of our labor and murdering us and destroying us and making us psychological invalids during the period of enslavement and Jim Crow. Okay, you know what? Let's don't talk about that. Let's talk about in the modern era how much you have stolen through misappropriation of the taxes that we have paid into a system, and it's been used to benefit others. Our money is used to benefit others, and we being told that we ain't shit. Can we get that debt settled? I mean, that to me, that would be a nice place to start for those of us, for those people who say, "Well, I wasn't alive during slavery, and you weren't alive during slavery either." I mean,
but you're benefiting, and you have benefited off the backs of our ancestors.
You know, I read the other day, yesterday, the day before yesterday, that there were people who actually volunteered to go back into slavery.
I believe
in the immediate wake and aftermath of the enslavement of our people.
When that's all you know, the fear of the unknown is worse than the fear of going forward. They were. And we still live this today, right? You know, we're still convincing Black people that reparations is a debt and reparations can happen.
Yeah,
it frustrates the hell out of me that when I'm going to our communities, I got to convince my own people about this.
Yeah, I think the work is one of engendering faith and hope and optimism in a people who are depressed and who feel dejected, inferior, and marginalized. That's the job, right? Because if I can believe it, come in the room, Jesse. If I can believe it, I can achieve it. But I mean, but literally, if one begins to think that things are possible, then those possibilities can be realized. But as long as you think, man, these white folks ain't finna do, you know what I'm saying? We've been around here all these years, and these white folks ain't finna get no nigga nothing.
That's exactly how we sound.
You know what I mean? Man, you must be crazy. And but actually, Tamara, for someone who thinks logically and who is a student of history, that seems to be the case. What we, I think, have to do, and I had a brother on the other day from Haiti, and you know, we were talking about 1794, you know, and the revolution in Haiti, and how it is that it became possible because the people believed it could happen. And I'm wondering, let me ask you this, sis. I'm wondering, you know, in recent years, there has been a move away from the idea of Black people having, quote, a leader, and we have moved toward a philosophy of there being shared community leadership. What I wonder, and I just, I'm just pulling this out of the sky, but I wonder about your thoughts on whether there is a necessity for a figurehead, someone to wrap the hopes and the aspirations of Black people in during this season, or do you think that this community or communal approach to leadership is preferred? Your thoughts?
This is heavy lifting. I want to share the load and the burden of doing this work. I believe that we don't need one person. I think we need all of us, and all of us have a part to play in getting this done. So no, I don't believe in one leader. Absolutely not.
So like a king who put it on his back, who kind of put the movement on his back. Of course, that's mythology. We know that the community, that the Black church, that Black people in general, that celebrities, that everybody, people tended to join him, at least until the end of toward the last few years, when his disapproval rate was 75% before his assassination. That's one of the dangers of being the leader, not just being assassinated, but the danger is when your own people take their hands off of you, when your own people stop praying for you and start praying against you because you make things difficult,
for them.
They think, for them. So as it relates then to us moving forward toward the goal of reparations, you mentioned, and you brought another T-shirt in. I didn't want that one because it was white.
You wanted the black T-shirt.
I like everything black. I would drive a black car, drive a black motorcycle, married to a Black woman. I wash with black soap. I put black grease in my head. I mean, shit.
Okay, got you a black T-shirt.
Okay, so you got me a black. That's just how I get down. It's just how I get down. But the other shirt mentioned a new bill that's been introduced here in the state of Georgia. Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah. Georgia HB 541 was introduced by Representative Roger Bruce.
That's my representative.
Yeah, he did the doggone thing.
He be at the sick go, you know what I'm saying, with the rest of us buying scratch offs.
You telling your business, Representative Bruce.
I don't count the road.
Yeah, so it's a phenomenal piece of legislation. It's a bill that will address...
I knew he was all right.
He all right. It's a bill that will address the impact of slavery right here in the state of Georgia. And it creates a commission, the same as HR 40 and S 40 up in Congress. So it is our approach to addressing the generational trauma of Black Americans right here in Georgia. So I think it's phenomenal legislation. It was introduced this session. So of course it rolls into 2022. So we're hopeful to get it, definitely get it passed here in Georgia, because this is a study that needs to happen.
Excellent. Going forward, Tamara, what are some of the initiatives that are on deck that people in our community need to know about as relates to the movement, the reparations movement?
Yeah, I just want people to continue to have the conversation about reparations and continue to push our legislators to pass HR 40 up in Congress, specifically here in Georgia. S 40 is over in the Senate. Cory Booker introduced that, which is the mirror to HR 40, the study for reparations. Our senators, Warnock and Ossoff, have not signed on as co-sponsors to S 40. Have not signed
Sound
on.
effects, man. Can I get something on that? Damn.
What?
Damn.
And I think that's just an easy ask.
Are you serious? They have not signed on?
Neither have signed
Neither?
on.
What a load of crap.
And you said that too. And I was afraid of that. I was afraid that, Ossoff is just totally under the radar. He just staying out the way. He got the job 6 years. He good. You see more presence from Warnock because he got to run next year. And
I'll see him on May 24th of 2022. I am running to primary him.
That was my next query. Thank you for anticipating the host's question.
I couldn't wait. I've been sitting on it.
Yes, that's the precocious 7-year-old in you. So talk about the new campaign there. Let's get to it. What's good?
Yeah. You know, we have to be intentional. We have to have Black America has to be repaired now.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be repaired now. We can't wait to piecemeal our redress.
Mm-hmm.
We need reparations.
Tamara, you know, we got to get, you know, and I want to be helpful to you in this. But we got to get this you got to get it on the ground. We got to get out on the ground, and we got to pound the ground and make people aware of not only the stakes, but I mean, you know, I don't mean no harm, but you know, there's our candidates, the Democratic candidates that are tapped by the powers that be for the positions, they get protected. And if people only knew more about those who they blindly support, they wouldn't support them. You know, and sometimes you got to get grimy with it, because that's how they get down. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you're gonna get at it, you might have to get your hands dirty, sister, because you know, people think that you kind of hardcore, but I mean, there's a way in which if there is a game that is being played, and there are certain rules that are governing the interaction, then if you don't go to the fullest extent, you can't expect the payoff, because the other folks, they go into the fullest extent, and they got that white folks' money behind them to do it. So,
are you peeking in my window?
I'm just
peeking in my window.
But you know how we love salaciousness.
I know.
And so there's a way in which, I mean,
this will truly be a different campaign for me. You know, I have run prior, and you know, I've tried to navigate in such a way that, you know, I've stayed out of a lot of, you know, I just put my blinders on, but this time it'll be very different. The gloves are off.
We say, you know, here each at the Below Community Church, when we meet on Sundays, as we close, we sing a song that we created. We created the music, but the words come from Assata Shakur. And we sing, "It's our duty to fight for our freedom. It's our duty to win. We must love and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains." And I want to, you know, that drives me each and every day to get up here and do what I'm doing, to say things that are unpopular and that are actually dangerous to say. But in the back of my mind is the idea, shit, I ain't got nothing to lose but my chains.
There it is.
You know? And so, my sister, I bequeath upon you that mantra. We got nothing to lose but our chains. And if the worst thing that can happen is we lose our chains,
we won, right?
Then we won.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hell, I like jewelries, but not that kind.
No, not that kind.
Anything you want to share before you leave, how people can become involved in the campaign, how people can support any of the initiatives that are going on now that you're a part of?
Yeah. I am Tamara Johnson Shealey. You can find me at Tamara4, TAMARA4, FOR, GeorgiaSpelledOut.com. Go to the website, donate, volunteer. We got a race to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot you a little something. You know, I done started doing that. I used to always be like, hell, I ain't putting no money in nobody's damn campaign. But I was like, no, you got to put your money where your mouth is. It's disingenuous for me to say that I support someone and I don't give them none of my money. So you can look forward to
appreciate that.
Yeah, you can look forward to a slaughter check. I got you. Also, I thought you were going to talk about it just a little bit, how I blowed up that situation we had down there. What was that thing out there?
Oh, yes.
That was so much. The energy out of that group of people was so intense.
They love you.
What was the group name of the group?
Yeah, United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen.
That was transformative for me. Just the name.
Yeah.
United Sons and Daughters. I wish it had been daughters and sons, but I'd take sons and daughters. I would prefer daughters and sons. But anyway, United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen.
Mm-hmm.
See, and the reason I was so impressed by it because the term freedman is a legal term.
Mm-hmm.
It's a legal term, and what it refers to is one's current state and one's former state. Right? In one word, it encapsulates both realities, which made it, and I was telling you this, it makes it impossible for anybody to argue with it like people can argue with the idea of ADOS.
Mm-hmm.
You can argue, you can find people who will fight you about that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't fight me about Freedmen, about the United Sons and Daughters of Freedmen. I need to stay in contact with that organization, that group, because that is powerful. And whoever that brother was that dropped all of those stats, who was on before me, two people before me. Anyway, dude was brilliant. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a lot of great people, a lot of very smart people who are doing this work, and I know that we're gonna be victorious. Go to tamaraforgeorgia.com. tamaraforgeorgia.com, and be supportive of my sister. I know I am. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, join me in thanking my dear sister, Tamara Johnson Shealey. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back in a minute or so. We are going to do the Sandtown Pub thing, and then I got another guest, what I call a real TikTok sensation. Y'all stay tuned. You're going to be interested in my next guest. Trust and believe. Stop playing. Movement, raw and uncut. We're open.
We're open.
Yes, we're open.
We are open, and Sandtown Pub is ready to serve you. We're taking precautions, wearing masks, wearing gloves, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. We've even partnered with local leaders to hand out free masks. So stop by and enjoy our outdoor patio, dine in, call ahead for pickup, get Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery, or order online at www.sandtownpub.com.
Peace, family. It's your girl, Shealey Set with Sun Goddess Sense, your one-stop natural shop. We are located at 4140 Jonesboro Road, booth 225, inside the Forest Park International Discount Mall in Forest Park, Georgia. Come check us out. You can get your health and beauty items, aromatherapy, skincare, Pan-African apparel, and more. You can reach us at 404-434-7963 or sungoddess_sense on IG, or sungoddess.sense on IG, or Sun Goddess Sense like page on Facebook. Peace.
Every time, and I'm gone. Hit a number 9, I'm gone. Hit a number 9, I'm gone. I don't need to wine and dine. Ain't got that kind of time. All I need is a number 9, and I'm gone. You were the only one who's taking care of honey. You were so special. You got some folks who gon' peep, then they creep up in your good thing. Oh, so scandalous. First time I called her, she was creeping in the back door. She didn't know I was saying, so I kept it on the down low. Next time I called her, creeping again. Hit a number 9, she was gone in the wind. Hit a number 9, I'm gone. Hit a number 9, I'm gone. I don't need to wine and dine. Ain't got that kind of time. All I need is a number 9, and I'm gone. Hit 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 a number 9, and I'm gone. I don't need to wine and dine. Ain't got that kind of time. All I need is a number 9, and I'm gone.
Yeah. Whoa, yeah. Hey. Yeah, yeah. Woo, 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 woo. That's John Black, man. The soul of John Black. John Arthur. Man, that dude's so fucking, man. He's so grimy, man. Straight out of the A. What's up, man? We back. We Black. It's the movement. Special guest in the studio. This lady is what I call a genuine TikTok sensation. I got hip the other day, and she just be dropping it, just hoard. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, please join me in welcoming my next guest, Rachelle. I said Rachelle. Rachelle Zola. It's just, Rachelle, I ain't gonna lie. And your name is on your shirt. But just, Rachelle, that's a black girl name. And I just be looking at you and be like, it's got to be Rachel. It can't be Rachelle. You know what I'm saying? Welcome, Rachelle.
Thank you. I am thrilled to be here.
I'm glad that you're here. I'm really thankful that you are present. I got hip to you this morning. I got my research team shot me over information, and usually, I'm gonna be honest, it's not that I come unprepared, but I like to experience people for myself and not swallow their PR bullshit. Right? I like to just meet the person and see what they're really about. But some said, Rachelle TikTok. So I just hit it. And then I'm talking about one after the other, after the next displays, what do you call those, posts of unadulterated, challenging truths, reflecting an understanding of the pain and the destruction that white people have meted out upon black people, and a real acceptance of that, and a real effort being made to do your part and to invite others to do their part to fix, to repair, and to move forward without those kinds of behaviors being pushed on black people. And that is just so rare in the age of Karens and Kens, and so I'm glad to meet you, because very rarely do I meet white people, liberal, progressive, otherwise, who are willing to take their share of responsibility and to own the fact that they benefit from the discrimination and hatred directed toward black people. So for that, I wanted to tell you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am honored. I'm absolutely honored to be here. I'm humbled to be here, and I really thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, you put it out there. You're 73 years old, and a pretty good 73 for a white woman. No, I ain't lying. You know, usually white women be to feel all the way the hell apart.
We don't age well.
But and you said that it's been maybe
only 2 years.
2 years. Where did this epiphany come from?
Well, it really was. I was living in Tucson, helping out a friend whose husband had passed away, and I was just thinking thoughts of where I was supposed to go next. So I lived in Ecuador, and I was helping out at a children's home, and I lived in Jordan. I had joined the Peace Corps when I was 59 years old, and I've gone back. And
wow.
There's family there. And so those are my thoughts.
I'm 59 and thinking my ass getting ready to die. You got 59 and started living.
That was one of my callings. I was supposed to leave the country, and that's where I landed up, and it was perfect. It was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
And I felt such love there.
No. Is there a large population of Afro-Ecuadorians?
Is there a large population
of black people in Ecuador?
In Jordan?
No, in Ecuador.
Oh, in Ecuador. No, not that
no,
I
okay.
saw. But
most of the black people live in Brazil and Argentina and stuff like that. Okay.
I didn't hear what you said. No, so those are so I've had callings to go back to what you said. So I was in Tucson, and what came to me is that I was supposed to go to Chicago.
Okay.
And I'd never been to Chicago.
Okay.
I didn't know anyone in Chicago, and it's like, what the heck? And it was very clear that I was supposed to be supposed to learn from the black and brown communities in Chicago. So I drove my car to Chicago, and I got hit there in August of 2019, and I hit the ground running that very day. I was walking around, and where I was, it was really actually a food desert. I had asked the person, I had a place to rent for a week in North Lawndale.
Okay, in Lawndale, I know on the west side, I know the community. Okay. Yes, Lord, I used to be a mental health professional.
I read about you.
In that area, boy. I used to take people to Lawndale Mental Health Center. So I know the community well.
So I was walking down Ogden. You may know the street Ogden, a woman. And there was actually an event with the police force and the community. And I had actually said I was hungry. She said, well, you're not going to find anything. And of course, as fate has it, as things happen, they had hot dogs.
Yeah.
So I got fed, and then I met people who I'm still in contact with today. But that's how I got involved. It was, and every day, I mean, literally, I went to a workshop, seminar, symposium, training. in the Black community.
Yeah.
So that's how it started.
When I was up there, I worked Thresholds, Bridge West, and Habilitative Systems, which were helping communities there that specialized in mental health.
Yes.
I think that we talk about the mental and psychological transformation that is needful for Black people, but white folks are the real crazy people who really need some kind of psychological intervention to be able to kind of start processing truth. You talked about being a part of the Peace Corps and living in Ecuador, and in Jordan. Are the people Black in Jordan?
Yeah, there's some people that are Black in Jordan.
Yeah, that's what I thought was, because it was crazy. I was reading a piece the other day about Africa about the U.S. Census, and the U.S. Census classifies people from North Africa and the Middle East as white people for the purposes of the U.S. Census. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's how that goes down. And I was...
Well, that's like having a white Jesus, right?
Well, yeah, we're here, we do, this is the Beloved Community Church, and we do sweet Black Jesus. You got to put the sweet in front of it, though. You know what I'm saying? But, it's like I said, rare to meet someone who is, and I don't want to use the term that is being overused now, but who is awakened. What is it that at the age of 73 drives you to work in the area of reparations for Black people? What drives you to do that?
The harm that's been done and the debt that is owed. I share this story all the time. It's like, how did I not know? I'm very comfortable in different situations. I don't get defensive. I feel, wherever I am, I feel home. But late in the 90s, I was teaching in an inner city school in Colorado, which I deliberately went to. And
in Denver?
Excuse me?
In Denver? Or?
In Aurora, which is...
Aurora, okay, yeah.
And I was teaching 6th grade to 11 and 12-year-old kids, and we were having a discussion, and one of the children said to me, he said, Mrs. Zola, when I walk into a store with my white friends, I expect to be followed around. He said, but my Black parents are still followed around, and his white parents are not followed around. Now, I knew the truth of that. I didn't think anything, I knew that. What I didn't think to do is, how do I get involved in the community? How could I use my voice? So I look at that, and I use myself as a case study, which is what I'm hoping for, that other white people that look like me, can understand that we've been silent, and for whatever reason, it didn't resonate. I mean, if someone had said to me, I'm an advocate by nature, so if someone, a child, an adult, had said, Rachelle, we need to go knock on doors, we need to do something, I would have been there. But it did not come to me on my own. And think now, it's like, the thought is, of course, it's like, what can I do so when this child grows up, he won't have to do that.
Yeah.
That won't be his life. That won't be his lived experience. And so it's very hard. When you mentioned TikTok, and I think one of the things that's been powerful on TikTok is the people say, thank you, we thought you didn't care, you really didn't know. It didn't hit my consciousness. It wasn't like I deliberately went out of my way to say systemic racism should exist. I didn't understand until I got to Chicago, and that was my lesson, the depth of the harm every single day. Every single day.
Yeah.
And that did not, and that's because I didn't even know the questions to ask. I actually went into a home that I was helping. It was a Black family. He was one of my students, and I was helping the mom to read so she could get a job. So here I am in the home, and I never thought to say, what is your lived experience?
Yeah.
So when I got to Chicago, that's what I started asking. It just became natural, because I was sitting with people. I could sit with someone for 7 minutes even, say, here's my number, I'd love to speak with you. And I wasn't interviewing anyone. It was just, here I am, I'm supposed to be here. And they gave me their information back, and I'd contact them, and we'd start talking.
Yeah.
And again, it was like, "Do you want to interview me?" He's like, "No, I'd love to just get to know you."
Yeah. Listening is part of having what's known as an empathic presence, and I think that that so much can be learned as we risk learning about others' lived experiences and actually accessing the capacity to feel what others feel without fearing that your benefit or comfort might be compromised. I think that's, I ain't white, but I had a lot of training in being white, because that's all you see on TV. That's all that's what black people experience as thinking right or correctly, is whatever white folks think. That's what you're supposed to think. And if you do that, you'll be okay. If you think black thoughts, then you will be in trouble. And what my hope is that more white people would take the journey that you have and would learn that in this country, if anyone benefits, then somebody suffers. That's just how it's set up. And just like for me in my life, what I've had to learn is I engage in the fight against sexism, which is prevalent among people, and particularly in my field, which is ministry. It's sexism and misogyny is prevalent. And what I had to learn, and what I'm learning, is when I said, well, I can't do nothing about it, I won't practice it, but I can't do nothing about it. But when I discovered, yes, I can give up some of my power so others can have power as well. That's the way it happens. And I think that if whites were to learn that in order for there to become a balance and equity and equality in this world, that white folks gonna have to give up some of this ill-gotten power so that others can enjoy what it feels like to be human too. That's what I think. So what you got going?
So for me, it even goes, like I said, I didn't even, so here's how I describe it. It's like I've been away for a long time. I have family members, I've been away for a long time. I come back, I see them, they're telling me there's trauma going on, there's pain. And then I realize I'm part of the problem, and so I didn't even see that. I didn't, when we're in the protest, silence is violence. Well, it is. And I didn't even know. I didn't know that I could use my voice. When I saw something outrageous on television, I would rage inside, but it was like I didn't have the money, I didn't have the influence, I didn't know anyone had influence, and so I sat home. And now it's like, well, sitting home is not good enough. I'm never going to sit home again, because I learned, and that's what I'm hoping that people can look at me and say, she just didn't know. When I do my YouTubes, I have a YouTube channel just because COVID hit and I thought I'd go into the white community. Instead, I started sharing the stories. I always say that I'm not coming from guilt, I'm not coming from blame. And I'm part of now I need to be part of the solution. So I think there's needs to be such an education, a re-education for me. I wasn't even reading the books, so I lived in a white bubble. It wasn't even that I was deliberately thinking about it. It wasn't intentional. So when I think about white people and I hear about reparations, I believe in reparations very strongly, and it's up to the African American community to tell me what reparations looks like. When I talk about—
Tamara told you.
Yeah.
Cut the damn check.
And for me, she asked me to wear my shirt today because I did do, I had Rachelle for HR 40. I had done a 40-day hunger strike to bring attention to hopefully white people to say, look, this is so important, because people say, what could be so important that a 73-year-old white woman would do this?
Right.
And so the answer is you don't mess with my brothers and sisters. And that's what I said. I came home and I saw this with my family. We are all together. And it's like, no, you can't mess with them anymore.
So you're in Atlanta now?
I'm here for from 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
The reason for coming here is I just knew I was supposed to come here. I don't know the white lived experience in the South.
Okay.
So that's why I came, really to listen.
All right. Well, it's sweet tea, cornbread, dumplings, and killing niggers. Huh?
And pepper jam? Is that something I've never heard of? Pepper jam? Is that something?
That's probably some white folks stuff. I don't know nothing about that shit. You know what? I appreciate you for coming through, and the next time you're in town, stop through and check on us, okay?
Well, this has been a pleasure.
And I'll be following you on the
Slaughter.
TikTok and on the YouTube because it's real refreshing to see you there. Much love and respect, Rachel.
Thank you.
All right.
Rachelle.
I'm reading the damn sign, your shirt, and doing that. I did somebody else like that. I did my friend.
You're not the only one. People do that all the time. People I've known for years.
Rachelle, please forgive me. I did Shantae like that the other day. Yeah. I call her Charlene. Yeah, I'm getting old. That's what it is.
You can't talk to me about getting old. Not happening.
Well, I have lived dog years, trust me. Y'all, we got another special guest on deck, so stay tuned. But before, please join me in thanking my guest, Rachelle Zola.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
You're welcome. I appreciate you as well. All right, y'all. We'll be back in a minute with another special guest. And this thing, you're going to see there's a thread between these guests, and you'll see in a moment. We'll be back, special guest, in a moment.
We're open.
Yes, we're open.
We are open, and Sandtown Pub is ready to serve you. We're taking precautions, wearing masks, wearing gloves, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. We've even partnered with local leaders to hand out free masks. So stop by and enjoy our outdoor patio, dine in, call ahead for pickup, get Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery, or order online at
Peace, family. It's your girl, Shealey. I'm set with Sun Goddess Sense, your one-stop natural shop. We are located at 4140 Jonesboro Road, booth 225, inside the Forest Park International Discount Mall in Forest Park, Georgia. Come check us out. You can get your health and beauty items, aromatherapy, skincare, Pan-African apparel, and more. You can reach us at 404-434-7963 or sungoddess_sense on IG or sungoddess.sense on IG or Sun Goddess Sense like page on Facebook. Peace.
This way it get funky right here. Turn it up, Scott. Let me in, Craig. Man, I ain't listening to that. I ain't listening to that in a couple of years. Yeah. I gotta put that right now. I gotta add that to my playlist. Yep. Hey! Welcome back to the show, man. That shit running me crazy. It's crazy. That's that John Black, the soul of John Black. Man. I ain't heard that one in about 2-3 years. Damn. I ain't heard that about 2-3 years, man. I just put it on my playlist that I'm bumping now. Oh man, that was the soul of John Black, Black John. I Knew a Lady. That's dope. That's Scott's cousin, and he gave us permission to bump his stuff on our show, so we do. And man, that one felt good right there, brother. I ain't gonna lie. Shucks. Sisters and brothers, I need you to join me. I have special guests in the studio, and this brother has an amazing story. I read the bio, and I'm tripping. So, ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, please join me in welcoming our dear brother Rye Williams.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, brother Rye.
Yeah.
Okay. I checked out the bio. Okay. It says you are a strategist, an inventor, entrepreneur, a philanthropist.
Yes, sir.
You went to college on academic and athletic scholarship.
That's correct.
Got a couple of degrees, honors, and then you went into corporate.
Yep.
Started climbing.
Mm-hmm.
And at 30 years old, you retired.
That's great.
How you do that there, bro? How do you do that?
Being very intentional. I knew from an early age, like my mom put me in places to understand how the game was played, and so the whole time that I was working, I was also working on stuff on the side, and I was investing, and I was doing all of those sort of things. And so I bought a building when I was 29. And at that time, the rental income from that building was enough to basically pay my mortgage and then give me some extra cash in my pocket. And so I was like, well, I know this is going to continue to appreciate. It's going to keep making money. And so I could either just be another rich black guy, or I could go do something that actually, has some purpose. And so I just decided I was done with corporate America. Just like that.
Yeah, man. And I'm proud of you. That is just dope. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
You also got a fashion brand,
right?
Called Rye, Redesign Your Expectations.
That's right.
As well as a strategic research firm called Culture SPK. Yep. Talk about both of those.
Yeah, so the brand really was like the first thing that I was doing as soon as I left corporate America, because I'd always been making clothes. I started making clothes when I was 12. I started selling them as a freshman in high school, sold a pair of jeans for $50, and I was like, this is all I ever want to do. I want to make clothes and sell them. But starting a business, especially when you don't have any money, is not easy to do.
Right.
So I kind of put it on the back burner, and then when I got out of college, I tried it again, and realized even more that I needed even more money. And really, the money that I was saving to launch the fashion line is the money that I ultimately ended up putting into that building. And because I was thinking about, okay, how do I go on and do all these things, but I still want to provide for my family. I still want to make sure we're okay. And once I got to that point, I just I couldn't justify putting all this money into this fashion brand, knowing that things might work out, maybe they don't work out. But if I put it in the right stuff, make that foundational stuff, those sort of decisions, then I could go on and do whatever else I wanted. And if it meant that I had to work every single job in my company to make it work, then that's what I could do. But I could do it forever. And so that's what I started doing with the brand. And I really was hoping that I could create this like functional fashion brand and inspire people. Like if I put more purpose into my clothes, I can translate that into encouraging people to put more purpose in their lives. But then as time went on, I was like, that's such a distant sort of thing. It's hard to like bring that in and really get it to connect for people. So I need to be more direct. I need to be more focused on what's actually going to make me feel like I am talking about purpose. I'm really driving things in a way that makes some sense to me. And when I was sitting at home working, or actually not sitting at home, I was at my studio working on stuff last year, and because I have some patents that are pending that I'm like waiting to get through the USPTO, and when everything shut down with COVID, everything stopped, and so I'm still waiting on that stuff to go through, because I'll be like licensing out those patent rights to larger companies so that they can make my designs. And so I'm sitting there like working on stuff in the studio, and people are calling me because they know that like I'm just somebody who has creative ideas, and they're trying to figure out, what do we do about these situations? How do we fix policing? How do we fix this? And I've been thinking about it, the whole time that I was working for myself. How do you solve these things? How do you solve corporate America? How do you solve all these things? And as people are calling me, I'm spending more time really pulling some of the ideas I had before, coming up with new stuff. And that's when I put out an article. I put out an article on LinkedIn, and some people that I worked with before were like, hey, you got to come talk to my company. You got to do this. And so like, a week after putting out this article, I'm talking to this enterprise sales team at Amazon. And somebody asked me like, okay, well, what do you think the solution is? And I was like, the solution, and you can figure it out. You can figure it out. It's about fairness, drive fairness. Well, what does fairness mean? Like, okay. That is a complicated question if you wanted to define fairness, but conceptually we do get it. Like everybody knows what's fair and what isn't.
We use the term justice, and I define justice as when the people who need the most help get the most help.
Right.
That's fairness. Right. That's justice.
Right. And so like in the legal context, justice is the minimum.
Right.
So the minimum that could possibly be out there, they set the law and they say, oh, well, we didn't violate any laws. We didn't, and it's not discrimination because we didn't break any laws. We weren't convicted, so we didn't break any laws.
Well, yeah, that's the letter, but not the spirit.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so that's where I was like, I'm not even going to give people that out with talking about justice and legality and all that. What's fair? Because you know what it is in your head, but you're not really thinking about it. And so my company, Culture Speak, is really focused on how do you quantify fairness? How do you figure out, like you're saying, the people who need the most help, how do you get that to them? So it's really about quantifying privilege and redistributing privilege. You don't necessarily need to do the money. Obviously, that's important because that's part of the privilege. But privilege is even more important, because if I could call somebody right now and get everybody in this room high-paying jobs, that's privilege. It doesn't matter how much money I got in my pocket because I have the privilege to change this whole room. And so that's where the focus of Culture Speak is really like it's all about truth, fairness, and accountability. Get that truth piece out there, figure out what's what. Stop. You were talking earlier about the lies. Yeah. Make it so people can't lie anymore, because we all know the truth. You can't lie to me.
Scientific colonialism. Yeah.
So we get the lies, and then we start holding them accountable because we have something to compare it to. And we're able to quantify what fairness really looks like and what people should be getting versus what they're not getting. And so that's ultimately what led me down this reparations road, is because, you know, once you start to put all these strategic pieces in place, now what? What are you going to do? Well, reparations is the answer. Diversity, equity, inclusion in corporate America hasn't worked for 50 years. All these programs that the government comes out with hasn't worked for hundreds of years. And so you look at people talking about, oh, well, they got free housing, free food. So did the slaves. The slaves had the same thing. So what are we really talking about? Instead of it being private ownership of people, you have government ownership of people. What are we really talking about here? Cut the check.
Cut the check and make it fair. So I can make it fair like I want it to be fair for me and for mine. Mm-hmm. So going forward, initiatives for Culture Speak or for the brand, what are you pushing toward? What are you, 31 now?
I'm 35.
You're 35 now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You still look like you're in your 20s. That's good.
I
That's a good
appreciate
thing.
that.
That's a good thing. So, you know, 5 years into retirement. What are you, what's the stuff that you're working on going forward?
So I set 50-year goals. You know, so it's like, what am I going to spend the rest of my life doing? Right now, the biggest thing that we're promoting within Culture Speak obviously is reparations, but promoting the website Reparations Sunday, because one of the strangest things that, you know, we found in our research is like this idea of the original law, the original international law. And so you're talking about like Deuteronomy as this international law that transcends religions. And so now this is what, we're talking about reparations within Deuteronomy, within you know, Old Testament, and so if that's the basis for reparations, if that's what led to Jews getting reparations in World War II, if that's what it is, then that is still relevant today. And so we need every single pastor in the country, every single pastor around the world, every religious leader, we need them to come together and say, we still believe in this book. We still believe in these scriptures. We still believe that reparations is something that should happen regardless of what you have decided in the United Nations or, you know, within the U.S. government or whatever. It deserves to happen.
You got a tough one because most churches, black, white, Hispanic, all preach a message of white supremacy. And that's, you know, and it's interesting you talk about Deuteronomy. I'm probably preaching from Deuteronomy this Sunday because what came to my mind is the whole idea of purge or the purge. And in Deuteronomy, in like 11 different verses, from starting at chapter 13 going all the way to chapter number 22, there's a statement that continually gets made. Purge this evil from among you. And I think that's what reparations is about. It's about purging the evil. That's what the fight for justice and liberation is about. It's about purging the evil of discrimination, of hatred, of white supremacy. And once people understand it, and I tend to agree with you. I've written an article actually I'm working on an article right now that says basically what you're saying is that when people get an understanding that justice and fairness are actually divine concepts, right? Because all things begin with what people think God says about other people.
Right.
And because whites were taught that God said black people ought to be slaves, that shit got ingrained and they actually started believing that shit was what it was supposed to be. And guess what? Black people actually started believing that shit too. And so in order to change that, folks got to really hear God say, these are my beloved. How could you treat my beloved in the way that you do? And in doing so, you place yourself outside the circle of the beloved. And once people get that idea and know that eternity holds a whole different motherfucking set of circumstances, then I think we'll see something different in the world. But then again, that's me being a preacher and shit. I'm probably wrong. Anyway, brother, again, I'm proud of you, and I pray that your And that's a pocket right there. Them your jeans.
Yeah.
That's a pocket right there. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. If I was still smoking rocks, that'd be my rock pocket. You can't put a 3.5 in there though. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brother Rye Williams.
Oh man.
Come on, give us some love, man. Hi, man. Thank you. Because I was like, until I found out you was a designer, because those pants, I mean, that's the bottom of those are like elastic.
Yeah.
And that shit would catch on. You know that, right?
I just gotta promote it.
Hey, man, I can see my kids wearing it, and then if my kids wear them enough, you know I'd want a pair. You know, you on to something, brother.
I appreciate you.
You on to something. All right, then, man. This is Rye Williams right there, y'all. I'm Slaughter. It's time for me to get up out of here. We got one more day to get at you this week because tomorrow is Thursday, and Thursday is our Friday because you know and I know that white folks don't go to work on Friday, so I don't neither. I see y'all on tomorrow and make it our end of the week show. It's been a pretty good week of shows this week, I think. And so, hey, let your people and your people know that the dopest show on the internet, busting you in the head Monday through Thursdays from 11-ish to around 1-ish. You know what I'm saying? We on African time. You know, when we get here is when we start and we finish when we through. You feel what I'm talking about? All right, then. Peace to peace. To the Archbishop and the Holy Family. To the beloved community that I love so well. To my video man and engineer, Craig. To the grand, supreme, slice master, invincible one. Not little. And to my guests, Tamara Johnson Shealey, Rachelle, Zola. Sound like a black girl. And Rye Williams, thank y'all for coming through. And all I want you to do is love me, and I'm gonna love you black. Peace to the people, power to the people, and earth to the bros.
The mouth of the wise teaching knowledge, but the lips of the fool talking foolishness. Almighty, we don't like them hypocrites, we don't like them parasites. Them scheme by day, them plot by night, striving on the plight of the poor and the sufferers. Oh, Jah know them are backstabbers, Jah know them are bloodsuckers. I can't take them vampires, cause I'm a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I'm fighting for what is right. No, nah, give up the fight. Fighting for truth and rights. Up full in a Jaja side. Fight, we have to fight, we have to fight. Fight, we have to fight with all we might. Fight, we have to fight, we have to fight. Fight, we keep out all them parasites. Cause I'm a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. stealing and cheating. Them deceptive beasts, always scheming and deceiving, wheeling, dealing and misleading, stealing and concealing, playing with the people's feeling. Do they know the most guy watching them? Them better know I'm man watching them. 'Cause I'm a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. 'Cause I'm a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. The nature of the beast, nature of the beast. Run the track. Such a long time. I see the blood of my people is the lifeline, the substance of the beast. They have been shedding the blood of my people. They are sucking the blood of my people. Oh, it's the nature of the beast, nature of the beast. Shedding the blood of my people. Sucking the blood of my people. Shedding the blood of my people. Sucking the blood of my people. The blood. Blood of my people. The blood. The blood. Blood of my people. The blood. They devise all kinds of weapons, then using them to kill my people. Some are famous, dangerous and deadly weapons. RCBW, chemical and biological weapons, like AIDS and Ebola, weapons of genocide against my people. They're instigating strife and war among my people, setting up the climate for the blood to run. The blood have to run for the base to feast. Oh, it's the nature of the beast, nature of the beast. Shedding the blood of my people, sucking the blood of my people, shedding the blood of my people, sucking the blood of my people. The blood of my people, the blood. I cry, the blood of my people, the blood. The blood of my people, the blood. Oh yo, the blood of my people, the blood. They are shedding the blood of my people. They are sucking the blood of my people. They are shedding the blood of my people. They are sucking the blood of my people. No more shedding the blood of my people. No more sucking the blood of my people. No more shedding the blood of my people. No more sucking the blood of my people. No more, our blood will shed.